Hey guys, welcome back to Pawpaw Storytime. To my grandkids, I love you guys very much. Hope you guys get to watch. Not a whole lot of prep time, so I'm going to try to go slow so I don't get too overwhelmed and anxiety ridden and start making mistakes, which sometimes happens. We're going to read descriptions real quick that I printed off for Ramadan because it's fixing to end here in just a couple of days. It says, let me see. So, Ramadan is the most important month of the Islamic calendar. It's the month in which the first verses of the Quran were revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. During Ramadan, Muslims around the world fast from sunrise to sunset. Why is Ramadan called Ramadan? Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar and lasts either 29 or 30 days, depending on when the new crescent moon is or should be visible. The Arabic term Ramadan, which means it implies intense heat. It seems that in pre-Islamic Arabia, Ramadan was the name of the scorching hot summer month. In the Islamic calendar, however, the timing of Ramadan varies from year to year. This year, Ramadan will begin March 22nd, give or take a day, depending on the new moon, when the new moon is sighted. An Islamic year is roughly 11 days shorter than a Gregorian year, which is the one that most of us use, our regular calendar. What is the significance of Ramadan? Ramadan is a period of fasting and spiritual growth and is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. The others being the declaration of faith, daily prayer, almsgiving, and pilgrimage to Mecca. Able-bodied Muslims are expected to abstain from eating, drinking, and adult relations from dawn to sunset, or only at night after it gets dark, each day of that month. Many practicing Muslims also perform additional prayers, especially at night, and attempt to recite the entire Quran. The prevailing belief among Muslims is that it was in the final 10 nights of Ramadan that the Quran was first revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. And then an explanation for kids, it says Ramadan. Muslims celebrate Ramadan because it's believed to be the time when the Quran, which is Islam's holy book, like a Christian's Bible, was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. Most families observe Ramadan by fasting, prayer, and charitable or good deeds. And I got a little side note that I wrote on here because when I was growing up, I always heard it referred to as the religion of peace. So I'm going to save that description because we'll try to do that every year. And we'll see how I've got a good story that I put in the description. We're going to be reading Max Celebrates Ramadan. And even though Ramadan's almost over, it made more sense, especially in my schedule, to add the story towards the end of Ramadan instead of before. Our opening reading today is going to be from Don't Sweat the Small Stuff for Teens, Simple Ways to Keep Your Cool in Stressful Times by Dr. Richard Carlson. And this is chapter 9, Drop the Drama. This is a fun strategy for me to write about because drop the drama is, of course, another way of saying don't sweat the small stuff. I asked Anne, a 19-year-old, the following question. Looking back, what was the hardest non-serious part of being a teen? After thinking about it for a minute, she said, to me and a lot of my friends, it was probably the drama of daily living. There's no question that the teenage years can be filled with drama. On the other hand, there's also no doubt that making the decision to drop, at least some of, the drama can equate to a much happier and more peaceful life. The question is, how do you do that? Admittedly, it's a little scary at first, and the only way that I'm aware of is to have the humility to admit that at least a portion of the things that you think of in dramatic terms aren't quite as life and death as you sometimes make them out to be. In other words, we often allow ourselves to get all worked up and bothered about things on a second look aren't really that big of a deal after all. A friend, for example, might make a mistake or say something wrong. Rather than forget about it and get on about our day, we allow ourselves to feel offended and annoyed. We think about the mistakes during the rest of the day, feeling more and more justified in our irritation. Many of us might even go home and tell others about it or call a friend to commiserate, rather than simply letting it go. These and thousands of other day-to-day incidents, everything from being cut off on the freeway to having a bad hair day, to making a stupid mistake on a test, to being talked about behind your back, to the phone being out of order, to losing something, can be looked at in one of two ways: as something else to traumatize, get upset over, or as yet another chance to simply let go. And while it can be really tempting to blow these types of things out of proportion, it's ultimately better for your sanity, your friendships, and your happiness to learn to let them go. The problem with sweating the small stuff is that there is and always will be an endless supply of things to sweat over. There always will be friends making mistakes, strangers cutting us off, things being lost, plans going astray, and all the rest. Pretty soon we're sweating everything, and life seems to be one drama right after another. Needless to say, this takes an enormous amount of mental energy and zaps the joy from our life. As you learn to let some of these go, however, you'll find yourself experiencing far less stress and aggravation. You'll be left with more mental energy, creativity in order to live life to the fullest. Drop the drama. Is it really that big of a deal? All right, they're going to put that one back in the rotation. We're going to jump right into Max Celebrates Ramadan. Okay. If you guys remember, I had this one back before Christmas, and we saved it to right now. Max and Omar are good friends. Max is going to Omar's house. Omar's family is Muslim. They believe in the religion called Islam. Omar's family is having a big feast to celebrate the end of Ramadan. Omar tells Max that adults and some older children fast during Ramadan. They do not eat or drink anything during the day. He tells Max that Ramadan lasts for 1 month. During Ramadan, Muslim people read their holy book. It is called the Quran. I want to know if that's real words or just cartoon writing. I'm going to look that up. Omar's whole family is at the house. His aunts, uncles, and cousins are there too. They are all there for this joyful day. Everyone has brought special foods to share. Omar tells Max that fasting teaches people to give. Max and Omar help set the table. Looking at all the good food makes them hungry. They can't wait to eat. Omar's father tells Max that this special holiday is called Eid al-Fitr. Please tell me I'm saying that right. Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr means the celebration of the end of fasting. It marks the end of the month of Ramadan. Omar's family is happy that Max joined them for the celebration. Max thanks Omar and his family. Max learned a lot about Ramadan. The end. That's going to do that one. It's pretty cool that even though Max isn't Muslim, he got to help celebrate with his Muslim friend and their family. He got to share in the feast and the activities and the togetherness. We need more of that in our world. Let's stick that back up. Put this inside there. We are going to close today with Many Ways to Say I Love You, Wisdom for Parents and Children from Mr. Rogers. And this one is on page 44. Isn't it amazing how much we bring of who we've been to whatever we do today? And that happens all through life. In thinking about times together, I realized that I have come back to the very best reason parents are so special. It is because we parents are the holders of a priceless gift, a gift we received from countless generations we never knew, a gift that only we now possess and only we can give to our children. That unique gift, of course, is the gift of ourselves. Whatever we can do to give that gift and to help others receive it is worth the challenge of all our human endeavors. Ooh, let's start the new chapter for the next time. Okay. I guess that's going to do it, guys. let me see. I'm going to flip the camera around. I got a new thing here. I found this online. So instead of doing the other one, the weekend song, this time we're going to do this one. When the day turns into night and you're way beyond my sight, I'll think of you, I'll think of you. When the night turns into day and you are still, and you still are far away, I'll think of you, I'll think of you. Even when I'm not here, we still can be so very near. I want you to know, my dear, I'll think of you. And that's from When the Day Turns into Night by Mr. Fred Rogers. And just remember that I love you guys for being exactly who you're supposed to be, and you're the only one that gets to decide that. And that our minds, just like our books, work better when they're open. Love you guys with my whole heart. See you next week.